Good evening and welcome back to the St. Petersburg By Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Bloody Strings.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes or be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Bloody Strings, one of the many chronicles we have at St. Pete by Night. I'm Devlin, your humble storyteller this evening, and these are my lovely players this evening. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I am Truckexe, and I play Drake Monahan, the brash Buhari Bruja.
Hello, I'm Lekar, and I am playing the not-so-well-dressed ne'er-do-well Toreador Matthew Halden.
It has been an eventful couple weeks. Of which we have not seen or heard from Drake until the very end of our last session, where he texted Matthew and let him know that Gray is in danger. We move ahead early in the evening of December 2nd, the night of the showing. A couple hours out before people will be allowed into the doors, we find Matthew heading to an address that Drake gave him over the phone. It is a kind of dark, secluded space. It's a little off the road, not something that'd be easily spotted on a street. There is a kind of large truck parked outside the building. You recognize the truck from the last time you went to KFC. All the lights are off, Matthew, as you approach the building.
I'm going to just kind of look around, see if I can spot Drake to see if he's there, or if there's anybody else in the vicinity that I should try to avoid.
Give me what's awareness. Okay.
And I tried to fix it. I knew that was a bad idea. 7 with a messy crit.
Before you catch anything, you smell blood, strong, coming from the building. You take a look around, you can see there are some stains on the steps going to the door. A couple little marks on the truck. What if someone already got him? This might be an ambush. Thoughts that cross your mind as your paranoia compulsion sets in.
Swear to God. All right. Keep it together, Matt. Keep it together. Not the best time to be worrying about this, but just do what you do. All right. I will just continue to at least skirt the perimeter.
Drake, please give me a wits and awareness. And Matt, give me a dex and stealth.
Three.
Drake does not notice you as you are kind of sneaking around, checking things out. All you see is the one truck. There's a couple of other buildings nearby, but they look to be in a similar state minus the blood. You don't see any real sign of conflict, just that there was blood.
I'm going to try to quietly get his attention.
How do you reach out to Drake?
I will try to find something small on the ground and kind of toss it at him.
Like just at the building?
Yeah.
Okay. Drake, you've been sitting in this dark space with Richter for a while. You already sent the address and everything. Just waiting. Riker. And then there is a smack. Hard to tell if it was on the window or if it was the wall, but something did just strike the building outside.
Drake's immediately up, has his revolver out, and is sighting down it in the direction. He's not taking chances. Trying to look to see what it was.
Riker kind of sits forward. Have you heard from your friend?
No. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Stay here. I'm gonna check the window. And he's going to walk over to check at the window, keeping his magnum out.
You see Drake approach the window.
And he'll kind of just like motion around here and kind of just mouth, "Was this you?"
Drake's characteristic smirk is gone, and he like you can see him squint his eyes and cock the revolver, and then
he will make his way to get face to face with Drake.
You enter the building. You're brought into looks like a small living room type space. They have no lights on. Two of them just been sitting here in a dark room. You can see they have a couple of bags. You recognize Riker. You saw him the first night you met Drake. Kind of still dressed a little bit like a cowboy, but a little less like he could either kill you or dance for you. He kind of watches you as you step into the room. This him?
yeah, it should be. Tell me, Matt, what's your opinion of me?
I think you're an arrogant bastard and a little volatile, but hey, as long as you get the job done, that's all that matters.
And he'll flick the revolver hammer down, and yeah, it's him.
Well, shit, Drake. That could be anybody on this side of the belt.
Nah, not many had the guts to stare down a revolver pointed at their heart, much less a stake pointed at it either. It's him.
If you say so. Six-pack. Halden, is it?
For right now.
He kind of gestures over toward Drake. This is the one you ought to be talking to. I'm just the getaway driver.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a garden showing to go to. Let's just say invitations aren't exactly on the table. I might be able to walk in, but I'm impressive. I'm not that impressive.
Oh, trust me. I have a way of making people open doors for me. I think I'll get in.
Here's
You're
go ahead. Here's the concern I'm kind of running into. Because I can understand why you're wanting to go after Viktor. But as far as I can tell, we have brought Matthew along because he has a connection to the victim. So, what is the primary goal? What should I be looking out for?
generally there's a chance Mr. Novak's alive, Matt, but I'm not going to hold out too much hope. If Viktor is showing off his project, it's most likely complete, which, in Baha'i terms, doesn't usually bode well. Not unless Mr. Novak's gone Baha'i himself, which is always a possibility. But the disruption of whatever they have planned at the garden is going to be what's paramount. There's always... Viktor might be showing off what's going on, but with the level I've been hunted to, I'm of a mind that there might be more to it than just a project showing off. There might be some rituals going on that could be problematic. But at the end of it, fucking up a garden party is always a win.
I mean, I would take any opportunity to completely fuck Viktor's plans up regardless. And whether or not Gray actually decided to side with him, I can't. I can judge him for it, but I can still respect it. As grotesque as it is. It was his choice. It was always his choice. We gave him our feelings on the matter. Ultimately, it was on him to decide.
Well, one way is for sure, he's certainly going to have learned some things.
Oh, and if we can get some actual physical proof that he's doing this and that they're not just pictures that he's touched up, so we can give to the proper authorities, that might also do some more than just physical damage.
Possible. Considering this is the private affair, there's probably going to be some evidence to find. The real issue is this is most likely all my former people. We will not have any friends there. As much as I value my speaking skills.
And I'll just have to make some.
Good man. Basically, my friend Raka here is going to extract us as best he can. I'm going to tell you right now, we might need to be very heavy getting out.
Still not sure why you're going in. They've clearly got a foothold here. We should leave.
I'm done running, Raka. I'm just done. I have my own projects. I have my own ambitions and goals. And I'm done running from little wannabe roses and flowers when all they are weeds. And all they do. And all the ways that they desanctify the Night Mother. I'm done with it, man. I respect you, Raka. You know I do. And if you really do want to leave, man, it's no skin off my back. It ain't gonna make me think less of you either. I get it. But sometimes a man's got to take a stand for himself, you know? It's how I got here in the first place.
I told you I'd help you. But if it looks like I'm not going to be able to get you out of there without losing myself.
I would not expect any less. Don't worry.
Same goes for you. I'm not sure how he roped you into going into that hellhole with him. But I'll only be around if y'all don't draw too much attention. If I can't get you out of a sticky situation, I will, but be prepared to have to fight your way out and find a place to hide if I can't get to you.
Yeah. Raka, do keep an eye out for a kindred in night wrappings, completely covered up. He's called the Shear. If he thinks that you're a problem, he's going to come after you. If you do see him, get out of there.
All right.
He's the one who fucked me up a bit. Took a couple of them with me, but yeah, eventually things add up.
And look, I'm just here to try to get Gray out. If we can't get Gray out, or if he's already beyond saving, ain't no reason for me to be here.
That's
At this
fair.
point, my goal is to ruin Viktor and save my friend. But if I can't save my friend,
Why
By
are
the
you
end of
here
the night,
alone? Weren't there more of you?
there are, unfortunately, they're trying to save another friend. Trust me, I mean, you think I'd be left alone with this jagoff if I could help it?
Seems being your friend isn't exactly a rabbit's foot.
hell, I stir shit. Comes with the territory. And make no mistake, Matt. End of the night, at the very least, Victor's going to be dead, if not ruined.
Look, I was just going for ruined, but if we can go dead, that's fine by me.
But same thing I told Raka. Keep an eye out for a kindred fully wrapped up. He's the one that night that punched a hole through a man, and he was the one that set that up. And so on the night of the gala, that's why I couldn't make it. I got ambushed not too far from the gala, and they brought the numbers they knew they needed.
So you were very popular that night, too.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know what happened. I'm sorry I couldn't be there.
Let's just say, I felt your pain on the roof. Of course, mine was self-inflicted.
Roofs, you got a thing for roofs?
No, but apparently I had a thing for stabbing myself with something.
At least I wasn't to blame for it.
For once.
Well, we should probably figure out how we're going in. Obviously, as much as I'd like to take all my stakes, I don't think I could hide them on me enough to walk in if we're going to walk in normally.
Yeah, I kept everything to a bare minimum. Apparently, I like to, how did Maggie say it? Be reckless?
I'm pretty sure I got you one up on that one.
No, you just wreck things.
Fair. So, Master Planner, we just walking in the front door?
Yeah, I'm not a planner. I never have been. I've finally come to terms with accepting it and verbalizing it. I was always good at improv, so let's just see what happens.
See, now you're speaking my language. I'm glad you finally realized it.
Took staring down the face of an old friend to finally be able to be comfortable enough to say it.
Oh, but yeah, that old friend of yours dead?
No. That's why
got
I
away?
stabbed myself. I had another idea. Again, improv. It would have been so easy, though.
It usually is, but hey, pain is the best teacher.
Look, we'll save that story for another time.
Riker kind
Indeed.
of speaks up. We do need to get ready to go.
Indeed we do. First, Drake will walk over and like you son of a bitch level of arm shake with Riker, and then walk over to Matt. Thanks for coming, and he'll hold his hand out to Matt.
And he'll kind of look at it. And then he won't say a word. He'll just shake his hand.
Let's burn this garden.
Okay. You load up, get everything ready. You guys hop in the bed of the truck as Riker begins driving it to your destination. You guys have a moment in the back if you wish. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and take you to location.
And Drake makes sure he gets all the multitudes of stakes off. Just letting him sit in the back of the truck and slowly unloads his Magnum, places it to the side.
Matt will just kind of chuckle, like disarming Germany.
And then he takes his sword and places it, like reaches through the back window and just places it into the front seat. Right as Matt says that.
You got a sink in there?
No, I don't have any C4 on me. Kind of wish I did.
I'm glad you don't. I've had enough with explosions.
Yeah, we might need explosions to get out of there.
I'm going to get blamed for it. I'm going to get blamed for it. Here's the thing. They would see the two of us together, and yet I feel like I would get blamed for that.
Oh, trust me. They all they're going to see is public enemy number one.
After the gala, you'd be surprised.
And I really need to hear this story. But, yeah, I can't undersell this, man. In all honesty, we are walking into the proverbial dragon's den.
Then we'll just have to keep it simple.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I told Rocker, Matt. You see a chance to bounce for your own safety, I ain't gonna blame you.
Trust me. I have no plans on overstaying my welcome.
Man. I was never a fan of crusades that brought down everyone around someone.
About that moment, you hear him knock on the inside of the cab. You look up. You can see it looks like a kind of similar to the original place. It's like a small 2-story building, a little bigger than the other one. It's not attached to a campus or anything on that line. It's just a private building, it looks like, out in Clearwater. Drake, you're aware this is actually pretty close to the meeting place where you and Victor had that conversation. As you approach, you see that there are about 6 cars outside. You see some people kind of standing, waiting. And you see that there is a man kind of standing at the door, not letting anyone in just yet. You see that there is some dim lighting on the second floor, but the way that the perspective is from where you are, they are keeping things from the windows. Downstairs, you see there are some still rather dim lights, but you can kind of see into the place a little bit, but a lot of the displays are still covered. Not yet revealed. Riker kind of holds the window, looking at the bed. All right. I'm going to sit over here, across the street. Shoot me a message or send me a sign.
Good working with you, my friend.
Yep. Just trying to make sure it's not the last one.
I'm gonna try my best. And he'll hop out.
Matt will hop out and just look at the building. You have arrived at your destination.
Ah. Ain't that the truth? Alright. Think we should make a spectacle into or just wait in line like the rest?
I'll just wait in line. Oh, you're so cute.
Drake will put on his cowboy hat. The ride.
You approach. There's roughly 16 people waiting outside. Give me wits and awareness.
Three.
5.
Okay. Yeah. At 3, you get an accurate count. There's roughly about 16 people out here, not including what might be inside. But Matthew, as you're kind of examining, you notice that a couple of the people out here are wearing similar little roses on their collar. You count roughly 3 of them out here. As you approach, you would be... Sorry, go ahead.
Matt's gonna just look, see the roses. Your friends got any tells on them that I should be concerned with?
How so?
They wearing anything specific? Because I'm seeing a lot of matching ensembles here.
Drake will look around.
You see that there are a few people, as he points out, they got these little roses, metallic looking little pins on their collar. You've seen, not specifically the rose, but you've seen little plays like this. It's an easy way to identify the important people from the non-important people.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately telling you probably that this is a mixed event. There are kindred and kind here.
Mm. Well, one thing's sure, we're not going to be the only of our caliber here.
Oh, they catered. Nice.
Apparently. Which actually I think kind of helps us a bit.
Oh, immensely.
Yeah. Well, shall we go let ourselves in?
Yes, I say let's.
How do you wish to approach?
Matt is going to walk up with all the confidence and panache of a man who thinks he deserves to be here.
Okay. You walk up to the door. Very large man standing at the front. He puts his hand out as you make your way over. What's your names?
Halden, Matthew, and my assistant.
He pulls up this little clipboard. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I utilize the all access?
Refresh my memory.
Give me 1 second. But it's the
I remember
coterie
this one.
merit.
Coterie merits. Okay.
It's under the Toreador, the all access coterie merit.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up in the book real quick. Just taking a second to load. Okay. Whether it is premiere film or but yeah. The actual invitation. What's procession? Okay. As you say your name, he pulls up, starts flipping through. You knew this was happening for a week. You've had time to make something happen. And as he flips to the clipboard, Mr. Halden, where's your rose?
I seem to have left it on my other suit. Wouldn't happen to have a spare, would you?
Well, sir, remember what you always tell me. People that need to know you're important already do. There's no reason to announce yourself to the unworthy.
Well, this is more for provisions purposes. And he reaches into his jacket and pulls one out. Try not to lose that one.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, he opens the door. The displays have not been revealed yet, but you're welcome to step inside.
Is Mr. Adams already here?
Mr. Adams is tending to a couple last moment adjustments to his displays, but he should be making himself accessible to the public soon.
Excellent. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Enjoy your show. And he lets you into the building. You step inside. As you step inside, This place is housed in kind of an extravagant, eerily curated space. There's a sense of decadence with tall gilded doors leading to dimly lit galleries, which are still covered at the moment. The walls are lined with portraits and sculptures that aren't covered, but they seem to be older portraits. Matt, you've seen a few of these when you were investigating Viktor to begin with, the older angels. Each evoking a blend of beauty and unease. The air carries a faint metallic tang, mingling with the cloying sense of exotic flowers. You step inside, there are a few people. It looks like a couple of people who are doing security, kind of posted at different areas. And you see a couple other people who have the roses like you, kind of mingling with one another. They all turn as the door opens and you step in, and then turn back to their conversations.
Ugh, I forgot, or I tried to forget just how great the art was.
It's self-gratifying. There's no actual lesson to it. I'm surprised that even as far gone as my people are, that they couldn't recognize just how meaningless this is.
Well, a wise man once said, I may not know art, but I know what I like, and this, I don't.
No, I'm of the same mind. Legitimately, the projects are meant to be, for lack of a better word, progressive. Meant to accomplish something, meant to enhance. This is waste. These are flowers taken out of a garden that didn't need to be taken out.
About that moment, you see that you clock 2 doors. One on the right, or east side of the room. A little image of the stairwell next door let you know how to get to the upstairs area. The other is a door on the back wall that seems to be roped off at the moment. There are 2 guards standing on each side. Above it is a little sign that says the greenhouse.
Well, that's probably our space right there.
That's what I was thinking.
I might be able to get in. Didn't mean revealing myself, though, but something tells me they'd want me to walk right into their Venus flytrap.
So let me ask you this, Drake.
Hmm?
Are all of them as bad as you?
And what regard?
Dangerous.
Yes, in all their ways, they have their thorns, their traps. We, as a culture, thrive on pain and lessons through that pain, on the damage caused to both ourselves and others. So yeah, I'd say most of them are dangerous.
About that moment, Drake, you feel something touch your shoulder.
He stops himself from immediate reaction and turns his head.
You turn around and you see the face of a young man, very pretty, looking up at you, and his eyes are kind of wincing, but he has this wide grin as he offers his hand out. My name is Jacob, and it is an absolute honor to meet you.
Mm-hmm. And why is it such an honor, Jacob? And Drake will grab his hand and squeeze.
You squeeze his hand. This guy is not as strong as you. You
Mhm.
can feel that kind of not quite breaking, but you could if you wanted.
Mhm.
But it doesn't seem to bother him. He just continues smiling. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I didn't catch your name. I am just so honored to be in the presence of someone who can. He just kind of sits there, and you can tell in this moment he is viewing you with aspects, and he is not turning away.
Well, Drake will lean down close with a smile. Let's just say, I had a very loving mother. Now, why don't you go enjoy the party and remember the best sights are viewed from afar.
He smiles. I apologize. I don't mean to disturb your evening. Absolutely.
Actually, you know what? You can do something for me, my friend.
Anything.
Matt, I'm sure there's some things this very, very aware man could tell us about what drew him here. Isn't that right, Matt?
Now that you say that, yes, I am curious. What lured you in here? What made you decide to come witness the majesty that is this?
Well, many of us are not from St. Petersburg or Clearwater. We were invited for various reasons, I suppose. To what we understood, there wasn't a garden here. And Viktor seems to wish to change that. And is creating a place for all of us to be able to participate. This is more of a grand showing and a welcome home, as far as I understand.
Yes, Victor. I have to say, he's quite intriguing, though. In my time, I've seen better works than these. In fact, I know that my mentor made me a better work than this. Wouldn't you say?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't follow.
Oh, I mean, many people try to say that they're reinventing the gardens, redoing the gardens, but don't really step outside of their very own. I mean, you see it, don't you? You see, and he'll gesture at himself, that sometimes what it takes isn't this, but more reworking of the mind, the way that we struggled and how we adapt both to what we think tradition, what is not so normal, and turn it into our own lovely flower.
But have you seen his artwork?
I have.
That he's posted
Yes.
all over the world.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's accomplished things, that's for sure. But I've seen projects all over the world, and I've made plenty myself. I have a very big one in the works myself. But I've just seen better. This seems wasteful. Remember, the
Look at
pain
what
is
he's
meant to
taught
teach
them.
us.
Exactly. Consider how much they learned, even for the briefest moment.
Lilith doesn't want us to waste things. Lilith wants us to cultivate. He wants us sacrifice when it is needed. But this, think of how they could have made everything flourish. Their sacrifice isn't nourishing the soil. Their sacrifice is they're being cut and plastered into a space. Not cut and then put back into our soil. But you've been gracious with your time. Jimmy, is it?
Jacob, and the honor has been mine.
Jason. It is truly a pleasure.
I will leave you to your to mingle. I'm sure there are plenty others who would love to speak with you. Considering, I will.
And
yes, I will leave you be.
As he goes to leave, like Drake will move over and grip powerfully at his ear, digging his fingernails in, like very strongly, specifically to cause pain. Think about what I said.
As he pushes through your nails digging into his face, he turns and he bows. I will consider it. And he turns and leaves. A little bit of blood trickling down his face.
Such fools.
So, what you're saying is I have to be basically a psychopath to fit in with these people.
I mean, yeah, kinda.
This will be a new one.
How do you guys wish to proceed?
Okay, Drake. Now that we've established that, this seems like it's more your playground, so I'll follow your lead.
All right. Well, for now, we should probably check out what's going on upstairs. Unless you have a direct way into... Unless you want me to play my card with the guards.
Let's get a bead on the place first. Can't make bricks without clay.
And then you'll head up the second stairwell.
You head to the second stairs. Nothing stops you. You head up top. And you see... Matt, you recognize this room. This room is designed almost the same way as the room that you stole from, where you stole the bust. There's a few little like trinkets and artifacts from his personal collection, but you see there's a lot more security in the room this time.
Oof, deja vu.
How so?
Just, seems familiar.
As you look around, you see Viktor overseeing the last piece of this room getting situated, where you see a statue of what looks like a mother kind of cradling a baby as this large glass case is being put on top of it by a couple of other individuals in their gear.
Doing her work. All the while.
Me without my rope and my smoke grenades.
So we want to head back down before they notice us?
I mean, is there anything stopping us from looking around?
Oh man, suffice to say, Viktor knows us well. Should we make a bit of a show of it?
Oh, it's like you don't even know me as he's walking in further.
Drake's following. And Drake's gonna call it, Viktor! Look at this! What? That is Quite an interesting piece you got here.
He turns. As you're looking at him, he looks a little, like, obviously dead, but somehow dead and sick. Not so bad that he can't present himself this evening. He still looks like Viktor, still very beautiful, very stunning, but a little under the weather. As he smiles, now, when I saw your name appear on my guest list, I was just so curious. Now, I'm not so curious. Hello, darlings. Come to enjoy the show.
You're looking a little under the weather, Viktor. You okay?
Ah, yes, a party that got a little too out of hand. Nothing I can't handle.
Those have been known to happen.
So they have. I suppose you're here to see my latest angel.
Well, we're calling them angels. Interesting. And what is this supposed to be our dear mother?
The angels thing is more of a play to the kind. This is everything I've been doing has been for Mother, yes.
Tell me, how does it feel when one project's finished? Does it feel like there's ash on your tongue?
Well, in order to become closest to she who made us, then perhaps one should be willing to taste the bitter fire that she was subjected to when she was abandoned.
I have to give you credit. That is an interesting way to look at it. You know, I've been expecting her to name her presence, the thought of her to be ash on my mouth, and yet I still don't feel that. I still don't feel lamentations for the way I view things. One could say that maybe by tasting ash on the tongue, or perhaps letting yourself sit in the fire instead of walking through it.
We conquer by enduring, by learning, and absorbing all the pain that can be learned in this lifetime. It's the only way we can become close to one who experienced all of it.
You know, I'm not sure I can really debate that one. That's most of what I think too. But I have to wonder, which one of us stopped learning?
Would it be the one who killed their sire and charged out of a ritual? Common practice among your folk?
Well, maybe through the pain of their betrayal, I learned to see better. I saw the waste.
Perhaps it was just that you are a selfish child.
Giving up my entire family? Giving up all the things that I had come to know? I had to recontextualize everything that I was taught through massive pain and sacrifice? Yeah, no, yes. Let me. Surely a spoiled child.
A spoiled child bites at the hand offering a gift. And you bit hard that day.
And yet my gifts are not taken away. How about you, Victor? As I said, you're looking a little lacking of blood. Are you okay? Are you sure you've eaten recently?
I have. I just had something that disagreed with me.
Hmm. You know, ash doesn't really fill the stomach, does it?
I've had no ash lately.
Still, this is your project. You're showing. If there's one thing I can respect, it's wanting to show off one's hard work. It is our way, after all.
Certainly. And you, Master Halden?
Matt, during this, was just kind of looking at the different things that are ensconced. I'm guessing you said it was all on display, but it was all glassed. And you said the recent one was the statue that they just put in place?
That was the one that's placed... Like, this room kind of mirrors the same room that you robbed in the previous showing that he did. And in the case where the bust was, is now this statue of a mother cradling a child.
I unfortunately missed your last showing. I was stolen away elsewhere, so I unfortunately could not witness your other pieces, which I have to say absolutely breaks my heart. Gray was so enamored by all of them.
Yes. He approaches and kind of leans in a little bit, whispering. He did very much tell me all of the feelings he had as my man was pummeling him into the ground as you made away with my prized possession in the collection.
And he'll kind of smirk. Well, it's one thing to pretend to be something you're not. It's another thing to have something that's never yours.
And what about yourself? Gray told me about the tragedy of Mina.
Yes, unfortunate loss.
And you didn't even get to get back at Nick? Unfortunate.
Yes, that was less of an unfortunate loss. He had his uses, but once he no longer served a purpose, I suppose I did get my revenge another way, however. Oh, well, working on it. Much like you, I strive to get better, improve, branch out.
Well, it's good to see you doing something. I will... Oh, I have one more item to tend to. I will let you peruse. Feel free. Observe anything you like. I shall be opening the greenhouse to general viewing in about an hour. I hope to see you there. And he goes to walk past you. And he heads downstairs. He stops at the door next to a guard and he points over at Matt. Keep an eye on that one. I suspect he has sticky fingers. And then he heads downstairs.
Well, I guess Gray wasn't as strong-willed as I assumed he would be.
No,
Although, not surprised.
Oh, don't blame your friend too much. Victor may be not much of a Bahari, but even a regular Baham is going to be able to do some convincing things.
Now, when I am looking at the statue and everything, did I notice any kind of security measures on it?
On the glass?
Yes, on any of them.
Give me a wits and awareness. Or investigation. Either one.
Three.
Okay. You notice that, like, tampering with the glass, probably fine. But you do notice that, at least on a couple items, there seems to be a plate underneath it.
Yes, Mr. Adams, you definitely learned your lesson.
Is it, like, what's the quality of the statue? Does it feel like reverence or posterity?
Reverence.
Okay. And Drake does not feel quite as tempted to destroy it. Well, are you getting what you need from this area?
Oh yes, I learned a lot.
Can't say I learned anything I didn't already know. So the question is, do we want to wait now or do we want to start some shit?
Well, now that he's made himself transparently clear that he's well aware of me and what I've done, and I've now got eyes on me, starting something right now would probably be a bad idea.
Yes, and I'm going to have eyes on me as well, obviously. Oh, well, you just wait then. And this garish bullshit.
Yeah, it's... Patience was never my strong suit, but, you know, I learned.
Yeah. I don't want to set it on fire. Gotta make a point, you know?
You know, Drake, you should really see somebody about that, because you're your need to burn everything.
I don't try to burn everything.
No.
I'm far too flammable for that.
Yeah, as are we all. And by the way, you are so never permitted anywhere in the vicinity of my cousin's establishments.
Okay.
Yes, she yelled. She was the one who messaged me that day we went shopping.
You should fireproof her stuff more effectively, in all honesty. But flammable, why not? Makes sense.
Okay. If we can manage to get away with any of this, I will let you set a small fire to Victor.
Yeah, I can deal with that. Although I'd rather just take his heart out.
He has one?
The bodily organ, of course he doesn't.
Fair. Anyway, shall we?
By all means, pretty boy.
As you begin to make your way toward the door, you begin to start hearing music played on the PA. The front doors are now being opened and letting the people outside in. As you make your way down, you see the place is filled up a little bit, and you see many of pretty much everything that was covered, with the exception of the door, is uncovered now. As you are viewing all of them, you see several portraits of Grey. Bloodied, battered, cuts and bruises. But in each photo, unlike all of the others, Grey is staring up past his eyebrows and smirking at the camera. It would take Grey to make something this disgusting somehow look less repulsive.
Grey. Only you, my friend. Doesn't make it any better, but oddly enough, it does.
I mean, I can kind of see why Victor was attracted to him. I mean, obviously, other than, stunning looking man. But that confidence, oh, yeah, that sounds like a moth to the flame to some Bahari.
He definitely had a personality to him. No filter.
So wasteful.
And it's sad because Grey was never one to waste anything. So now it is on sheer principle.
I think he and I would have gone along.
As you are kind of re-examining the space, Drake, you see that Jacob kid staring at you again. He seems to be excitedly pointing you out to people.
Seems I'm about to have a fan club.
You should be used to it.
Not usually at Baha'i events, I'll tell you that.
The door on the north side of the room has less security now, but it is still guarded, and it is still roped off. Outside of that, is there anything you wish to explore in this area, or perhaps you wish to explore that? How do you wish to proceed?
Keep going. Peruse.
Mm-hmm. Drake's waiting for his chance, keeping close to Matt, mainly behaving for now.
As these people are moving about, you guys kind of moving and navigating. Give me wits and awareness rolls.
Rick is extremely starting to zone out of boredom with a 0.
Okay.
2.
2. Matthew, you notice over in kind of like the northeast corner of the room, there looks to be like a photo booth type situation, which seems a little like it is different than like the typical ones you might see in a small venue. It's very dark, has kind of like a gothic framing to it. And you'll notice people with a rose walking in with someone without. And they'll go in. They'll be there for a moment. When they come out, the person not with the rose seems a little dizzy, but they're propped over on a wall, and they move on.
Okay, now that makes sense.
A moment later, something does catch your eye. The woman who went in last, as she steps out, seems a little dizzy. The man accompanying her kind of props her to the side. He leaves her there, and when she turns and looks at him, give me a wits and insight.
Three.
She's feigning dizziness. And that is when you notice, kind of just on the collar, underneath her dress, you see a little tattoo. That looks like a familial ring that Louis used to wear. And she walks on. You think back to the party. Don't drink the blood. However, before you can communicate that, Drake lost you. Drake, as you were trying to follow Matt, kind of taking a look around at everything, you see somebody goes to approach you as you've somehow lost Matt in the crowd. This person is a woman. Kind of shoulder-length brown hair, wearing... The dress is this dress, as you're looking at it, someone who is a trained fighter. Seeing this dress, this is not a dress for show. This is something to wear for functionality. She steps forward, very welcoming smile. I understand we have a special guest this evening. We weren't expecting a chosen to arrive with the rest of the numbers.
Drake is going to naturally shift his stance a bit, both out of respect and wariness, so that he can also maneuver if he needs to. He'll give a smirk. I mean, I guess you could call me that. What can I do for you?
I simply wish to make acquaintance. My name is Miranda.
Miranda. We'll see if you continue making this acquaintance. Drake.
Ooh, the one who... The Fallen Chosen. Well, that just makes tonight a little more interesting, doesn't it?
Oh, they're calling me Fallen now, are they? Well, that's interesting.
Well, that's one of the kinder words.
I'm sure. I'm very sure. But I can't control other people's perspective now, can I? Otherwise, well, things would probably have gone differently.
What has made you decide to come out here this evening?
Well,
Considering
I mean,
some of the rumors I might have heard.
well, for all that I might be hated, I stand by what I think, what I've seen, and what I've learned. I may be hunted, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop believing that I'm right.
So if you are so sure of your viewpoint to the point that you are bold enough to step into a garden, I must ask, why not try to take this to an elevated position of power? Why not speak to a higher authority on this matter? Why run as long as you have?
Well, see, here's the problem. That's the higher powers that were causing it. You see, the higher ups, the higher powers, they've gotten so focused on their personal power, what they view as being the correct choice of action for both the Baha'i and the Gardens, that they've truly come to not see Lilith's will anymore. It's not even about Lilith to them anymore. It's about the status quo. It's about plucking the right flowers to put in their special little vases, instead of nourishing, much like this. It's not about nourishing the soil with the sacrifice. It's about making it pretty. Prettying up and choosing the best flower just to kill it and display it. They demean Lilith.
Well, I'm sure even Lilith understood weeding out the weak. That kills your garden.
No, weeding out the weak is not the problem. But weeding out the strong for personal gain only, not even in service to Lilith, is a whole different beast.
Is that why you defied your sire and defied a traditional practice of the religion you seem to hold in such high regard? Is because you felt you had more to offer?
I felt as it was because I couldn't stand for this defilement any longer. And while yes, I've run, I've also made my own strides. Here I am. In the weeds, shall we say.
Are you hungry?
Not particularly, but I'll join you if you need a bite.
Oh, we have a few vessels.
Well, by all means, if you wish my company, I'll happily keep you company while you eat.
I would love to continue this conversation.
Please lead the way.
She takes you over, finds a young man and guides you over to the telephone booth. Do you drink?
No.
Okay. Are you going to refuse to drink, or are you like, how are you approaching this? She will offer you to drink from the vessel.
He is in a garden. It is nothing but poisonous plants and treachery. Like, there's no way he's taking anything from here.
So just simply politely refusing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Matt, at this point, after losing Drake, you do see Drake enter the photo booth with a woman and a young man.
Matt, is that woman that he saw still within sight?
She's still in the room, yeah.
He's just gonna straighten himself up and casually walk over to her.
You approach her. She looks up and seems shocked. But then you watch as she... How can I help you, sir? Are you hungry?
No, thank you. I've already eaten. It is quite an interesting flavor palette. But
Understood.
I just have to say, and he'll lean in a little closer, sweetheart, if it had been me instead of Louie, I would have taught you how to be a better actress. But don't worry, I'm not going to cause trouble. In fact, how about this? I don't care about any one of these people here, except for one gentleman, and only because I need him. You stay far away from my business this evening, and I'll let you and your friends have fun.
She smiles and she kind of leans in. You weren't supposed to be here.
The only reason I let him go was because she would be very upset with me had I hurt him, despite what he did. I only came for a friend, and I'm thinking that plan has already changed. So if you plan on doing any kind of damage here, have at it.
I'm just here to feed the clientele.
Yes, and I don't know exactly what you guys did, but it seems to disagree with a lot of people. I'm guessing Mr. Adams partook.
No.
Oh, too bad.
From what I understand, he's saving his appetite.
Oh. I guess we're gonna have to starve the boy then. Because whatever you're doing, I'd really like it to be to him.
She looks like she's about to pull away from you, but then she kind of puts her hand on your shoulder and leans in. sparing him because of the memory of another. It's almost human. Why don't you just let him preserve that part of you? And then she walks away from you.
Yeah. That's the problem sometimes. I'm still too much me for my own liking. And he'll straighten himself up and make his way towards Drake.
You make your way towards Drake. Drake, give me a what's an insight?
Just one.
Okay. You are very focused on her. She's talking for a bit, more of the same kind of stuff as before. She then finally bites into the man's wrist, begins drinking, and then pulls away. Kind of tilts her a little bit. Tastes a little funny this evening.
Oh, how so?
Almost sweet. Like honey. I haven't tasted honey.
They must be really going all out then,
She just kind of ushers him out of the booth. So what will you do if the shear comes after you?
You say that like he already has it. Oh, that they already have it.
You've escaped the shear.
I'll give them credit. I'll give them credit. They knew the level of force needed to come after me. They're not someone to take lightly.
Maybe. They were just trying to size you up.
You know, that is not out of the realm of possibility. And I can certainly respect that.
Perhaps, assuming that's the case.
Of course. Ultimately, we have immortality. Lilith has gifted us with so much. We need to stand by what we truly believe in, or else we are no better than Canaanites in their monotony and lack of imagination.
No, we can't have that. But we also can't have little branches doing whatever they wish.
Here's the thing. What if it's not a little branch, but the acorn that can grow into a new tree?
Some might call that arrogance.
Absolutely, they could. But I'll tell you what I told Viktor. I don't taste ash in my mouth when I speak Lilith's name. I do not feel cut off when I think of her, when I go through my actions. I stand resolute and the sense of her embrace. So either I am self-delusional and arrogant, or I'm on a path that she actually agrees with.
She reaches over and cups your cheek. You are so terribly misled. And it's not your fault. Of course, you think this way. You are simply a child. A child who was not properly cared for. And because of that, you don't know the way or how to come back to it. It's askewed. But I do promise you this. And then her smile widens. When I do finally cut you out of the root, you will be whole again.
Well, I did say the share is very impressive,
I'm
isn't
sure
she?
it is.
And he'll reach up, take her hand, if she and go to move it away. Kiss it. We shall see.
So we shall. But for tonight, enjoy the show.
Oh, it'll be
She
definitely
gets-
be a show.
At this moment, she opens out into the booth, makes eye contact with Matthew, smiles, and then continues walking.
Matt will come over. Please, tell me you didn't eat anything.
No, and this Den of Vipers, absolutely not.
Good, because I can definitely guarantee that somebody poisoned the water well.
That makes sense. Also, keep an eye on that one. And he'll gesture. He's still looking at her as she's walking away. Suffice to say, got some real heavy hitters here. But if that's the case, she just took a sip from the poison well.
My friend has friends here, mingling
Oh?
in the crowd. I don't know what they did, but everybody's gonna be a little goofy.
All the better for us.
Yep. And apparently Mr. Adams is saving himself for a late night snack.
I think we know what that snack is then. I truly hope that maybe I could get through to someone here. Just once. Just once I'd like to get through to someone. And he'll get up. All right, what's the plan?
No plan. Now we just see what happens. Pivot from there.
More waiting. More waiting, goddamn.
About that moment, you hear applause. The music gets quieter as the north door opens. The rope pulls aside as Viktor stands up. and enters. Wearing a very form-fitting, very elegant suit, no tie, button down, unbuttoned, a few from the top. He seems to almost dance into the room before presenting himself. My darlings, I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. I know that this is the moment you've been waiting for. The live display of my artwork. And I don't intend to disappoint. So, if you'll do me the honors of following me into the greenhouse, we'll move into the final presentation. And then a small celebration after. Follow me. He turns. Go ahead.
Oh, no, Drake's going to turn to Matt. If Gray's still alive and I see a way to prevent whatever Victor has planned, do you want me to take it?
No. Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Gray would want to be here.
At least someone he knows will be here. That's it.
Victor turns, steps into the dark room behind him, vanishing into the dark. And with that, we are going to take a quick break.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors: Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Farrah the Bard, Champs Tramps, Pantry Artista, Chromatic Creations. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpbynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You can find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all socials with the hashtag St. Pete by Night. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/St. Pete by Night to help keep the stories rolling.
And welcome back. We pick up stepping into a dark room. You pour in with the crowd. There is no light in here immediately. Before long, you finally hear as lights begin to flicker on. At the center of this greenhouse, in the center of this room, is a large glass wall. On the inside, immediately drawing your attention, is Gray. Staked and unnervingly serene. He hangs from an intricate ironwork. His pose oddly graceful. Framed by the creeping vines, his skin pale with faint patterns of bruises and lacerations that form almost artistic swirls over his chest and arms. The candlelight glints off his eyes, open, unsettlingly calm. Despite his evident suffering, Gray's lips are curled in a soft smile, and his expression radiates something akin to contentment or defiance. Give me either wits and awareness or wits and insight. And let me know what pool you pick.
Two on awareness.
4 with awareness.
As you guys are kind of watching, you see people looking around. They seem immediately struck. His posture, his arms are kind of loosely outstretched, his fingers splayed as if inviting judgment. His clothing kind of torn and bloodstained, loosely kind of thrown up, draped over him, enhancing kind of visual symmetry, while his shadow, cast strategically by lights, stretches grotesquely along the garden, making him appear like a towering specter. The fog glass cleared the center, but becomes foggier the further away from it you get to create this almost frosted-like frame. You see these varied flora that seem to pulsate with life. Vines curling like eagers' fingers toward blackened statues. Blooms are nightmarish hybrids with petals resembling raw flesh and thorns glinting with a very acute sharpness. The ground soft with moss the color of old blood, dotted with small glowing mushrooms that cast an eerie bioluminescence. Viktor has not presented himself in this space yet. You could hear people kind of murmuring and whispering with one another. What do you do?
The map.
Matt's going to kind of look at Gray and then look at Drake, and he's going to kind of gently nod back towards the door. And then he's going to kind of slowly make his way back towards the door.
Drake will follow.
There are a couple of security guards at the door.
He's gonna, once they're next to each other, he's gonna lean over and whisper, "This is a bad idea, but since everybody's here, action." And Matt is going to... Did you get my update for my sheet, by the way? Did you see that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Matt is going to activate Throw Voice. Now, is everybody surrounding Viktor, or is it just in front of Viktor? Like, is the crowd around Gray and the display, or is it just in front of?
It's mostly like it's like a rectangular room. It's like you're looking at an aquarium. You step into a room, half the room is where you guys are in the viewing stage, and then the other half is behind a glass display.
Okay. So you couldn't actually get to him if... Yeah. So towards, like, at the one end of the crowd, Matt is going to use Throne Voice and have his voice scream out, Viktor Adams poisoned the blood, that's why he hasn't eaten.
And throw voice. Let's see here. You're not using anything in tandem with this. It's just throwing your voice.
No, I think I'll join it with awe, so that people will focus on it.
Go ahead and... So first we'll do the awe roll. Well, did you do your rest check already?
No, but since I never fixed my hunger, I'm going to auto-fail, so it takes me directly to 2.
Fair enough. So let's go ahead and start with the awe. I have to make a couple... Well, no, go ahead. Let's see...
You know what? I think I'll Blood Surge. Just 4. And I spent a will.
All of the kind turn toward where you throw your voice. About 4 kindred turn their head as well. And you see people kind of beginning to look about one another. The other 4 seem to be kind of peering around the room, trying to find where that came from. Who's made this declaration?
And Matt's going to yell, yeah, speak up. Who said that?
That is fun. Okay. So, you continue kind of taunting. People are kind of looking around, trying to figure out what it is from... You see them kind of going over and starting to rough up a couple of people that the voice is just nearby.
Matt is going to scream, is that what you meant by I didn't agreeing with you, Viktor? You said you were fine, but something didn't go well. Were you trying to deceive us? He's trying to incite the crowd.
Mhm. At this moment, Viktor steps out into the display. Steps in front of Gray. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand to the entertainment this evening. Matthew Halden. And then gestures over toward you.
Mr. Adams, no, please, this is your night. I just am trying to figure out why someone would say something like this. I'm giving you the opportunity to correct this person's obviously wild and unsubstantiated claim.
Certainly. Allow me to shine some light on that matter. And he gestures out, and you see security bring that woman you saw earlier, that you spoke with. I was invited to a party some time ago, hosted by a friend. What was it? Duncan, I believe, the Malkavian. And I was poisoned by the very food curated for the rest of us there. And yet here I stand. Simply a small illness. If there is any tampering, I assure you it's not my own make. But if it will calm the fears of those here this evening, he reaches down, takes her wrist, pulls it to his mouth, makes eye contact with you as you watch blood begin to part and pour over the wrist from his lips. If there is poison amongst us this evening, then I am no different than you. And he lowers her hand. Let's not let something trivial ruin the reason we're here. Does that seem fine with you, Matthew?
By all means, carry on.
He wipes the blood from his lips. The greenhouse dims. The only light coming from the eerie bioluminescence of the grotesque garden and the flicker of candles placed strategically around the room. Viktor steps into the center, almost as if posing himself so that Gray's outreached hands are framing his shoulders, almost to display Viktor. Welcome, my fellow seekers of the truth. The only truth this night that we will find is in transcendence. Tonight we honor the Great Mother, the cradle of our existence. It is she who drank first, and it will be she who drinks last. She who gave birth to our kind's immortal agony and divine potential. But look at us now, bound by chains of our own making, the laws of the Camarilla, the brutal anarchy of the Sabbat. Each path nothing but a mockery of the freedom Lilith intended for her children. And our hunger for eternity, we deny it the mercy of release. Forcing our childer to suffer as we do in this endless cycle of blood and shadow. Yet Lilith calls to us. She speaks in dreams, in whispers carried by the night wind. She tells us there is another way. To embrace the flames of sacrifice. To consume the young as they step into this cursed existence, not in cruelty but in reverence. In taking their lives, I spared them from the cold torment we endure, granting them the only true release. And in their sacrifice we ascend. Their blood becomes a bridge, carrying us closer to the mother's bosom. And with every drop we consume, we honor her. With every soul release, we offer a hymn. This is not merely art, it is worship. It is salvation. Tonight, Gray will not perish in vain. His radiant pain, his beautiful submission to this cause, will carry us all closer to Lilith's embrace. Look upon him and see not a victim, but a martyr, a keystone in our holy pursuit. Victor pauses, spreading his arms to gesture at Gray's serene yet macabre form amidst the unnatural garden. So I ask you, my companions in devotion, will you open your hearts and embrace the truth? Will you witness this sacred act and join me in walking Lilith's path? No matter how shadowed it may be. He raises his arms, the light catching his eyes burn with fanatical fervor. The cultists murmur their assent, their tones reverent. And then you watch as those with roses move behind those without. Do you do anything in this moment?
Is this a kind of pattern that I would know, or that Drake would know?
This seems to be similar to what you almost experienced. Much more grandiose, but...
As in, he knows he's going to try to diablerize Gray?
Yeah. You also know Gray's not his childer. So there is a... Well, I guess that's a matter of perspective. And
It could be considered a blasphemy. Mm-hmm.
But it could also be considered a reintroduction of thought. A new way of thinking.
I will say what Drake's thinking right now. Drake is seeing this. The exact concept, not exactly the ritual, the concept of reimagining and reworking what has been, in his eyes, stale so long, and now this debauchery of a ritual that he already didn't agree with, but instead of pursuing Lilith's path in a way that exemplifies Lilith, instead to him, Victor is currently making it even worse, because now it's not even a matter of the childer. This looks like it'll be a diablerie just to diablerize. Wasteful, useless, pointless, absolutely anathema. I would like to ask that Drake makes a frenzy roll to not flip his shit.
Give me a frenzy check.
And Matt is he's not paying attention to Drake right now, but he pretty much knows what is about to happen, or he thinks he has an idea saying all this, what is going to happen. He's going to try to sneak his phone out and record this.
It's unspent willpower plus third of humanity rounded up.
Sorry.
Unspent will plus third of humanity rounded up.
Yes. And you give me a Dex and Stealth.
Thankfully, that messy critical doesn't exist because it's willpower. But that is 6 successes.
You maintain your rage.
I know that was a weird ask, but it felt right.
No, that's fair. You whip out your phone. You try to quietly record what's about to happen. When your phone gets snatched out of your hand, and you see a woman, the same woman that stepped out of the photo booth, drop the phone to the ground and stomp on it. We don't want the light of the phones to disturb the plants.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I apologize, and I mean, it could have been worse. Could have been one of those guys that did it. It's almost worth it.
Drake's gonna step forward and announce blasphemy.
He stops. He turns. From the blasphemer.
How dare you? It's bad enough when Calder are unnecessarily not fed to the soil, but instead put in the vases. But you don't even wait until they're childer. You don't care that they're childer. You take the soul and gifts given by Lilith just to take them. Not in recompense, not in reverence, not in anything. How dare you? I can understand people having a problem with my point of view, but this, taking an already questionable decision by those in power, and then making it serve you instead. What is this? Going to take away a gift from another just to do it? Tell me, how does that serve Lilith?
Do you know anything about Mr. Novak?
That doesn't answer my question, Victor.
It might.
Enlighten me.
Mr. Novak here is a devout follower of the teachings of Michael. In fact, he had it in his head that I was. He believed in the opposite of everything that you believe. Everything that we believe. What potential does he serve Lilith in this moment? That there would not be a gain in one of her followers taking from him.
No potential, yet you take the very thing that you so rigorously are saying is worthless, or even worse, poisonous, and yet you take that into yourself. What, in the name of Lilith, how does that benefit Lilith or you? Other than the simple power of stealing.
I bring them to Lilith. I teach them the way. I make them perfect.
I don't see perfection here, Victor. I see weakness, fear, cowardice.
Weakness through the eyes of a coward is hardly anything to look to.
Drake will straight up. Do I look like a coward to you, Victor? Am I not standing here surrounded by many I know want to get my head off my shoulders?
You do. I must commend you for that. But, as someone who seems to believe so strongly in the cause, you ran out on your obligations.
Obligations to
Murdered.
who?
You were a subject of a very important ritual. And you killed. To preserve your own life. And not end the sacrifice that was being made that day.
You don't know a damn thing about sacrifice. She was she was like a mother to me.
Yet you did not honor your mother.
I honor the mother above us all that day.
Not that day. That day above all days. Did you spit on her gifts?
The test just how much of a gift she's given me tonight, Victor. Because I'm more than willing.
Yes, you're chosen, whatever it is.
I don't mean that. That is a blessing that is personal. Something I adore. That warmth in the night that none of us normally feel, I adore it. But it is not a gift. The gift was my eyesight, the truth that I was able to see, and how I'm now willing to stand for it.
The truth or the rationalization of a scared child, dear boy.
I'm more than willing to show you how unafraid I am. Shall we, Victor? That glass isn't as much of a barrier as you think it is.
Yes, I suppose it would be a very fine point and very dramatic ending to this conflict. Me stepping out from behind my protective glass and battling you physically when clearly you are superior in that aspect.
Oh.
You made yourself visually strong. Spiritually, however, you are as weak as a small hamster.
Drake will grin. I have no doubts about my spirit. And how far is the glass from generally where Drake's standing?
If you step out in the middle of the room, probably about 10 feet.
All right. And I use a mixture of blink and wrecker to get Victor. Try to get rid of Victor.
If you attempt to do this, Miranda will move. So, you can attempt to do that if you like. Go ahead and make any applicable rolls.
All right. Yeah. You do the blood surges, or the rouses, and I will blood surge it. 1. All right. All right. 1 failed. So blink, wrecker. Let me just double check wrecker. Also, may I activate prowess?
You're talking about 3.
Yeah, that's a bit excessive. We can do that next round.
What is Matt doing while this is happening?
Once these festivities start, the woman is no longer focused on Matt.
No, once he stepped forward, she immediately pulled away and started stepping to the side, watching him.
Matt is going to work his way. He's towards the back, so he's going to. You said there's security at the door.
They are. I will say they're a little distracted, but not enough that you could just walk right past them
Yeah.
easily.
He's going to go up to them. I've seen enough. I would like to go. This is too much for me.
They kind of look over at each other. Go ahead.
Oh no, I did an extra rouse by accident because Wrecker doesn't need one. Just when you get the chance, can I get the rolls I need to commit to the action?
You're trying to break the glass?
Break the glass, get to Viktor. Bodily go through the glass, basically.
Yeah.
And it's doubled by
Strength
Wrecker.
and brawl. Sure. 1 second.
I'm gonna keep that. That's thematic. It with a messy crit.
Okay, I see.
And Wrecker does twice damage to the object.
Yep. This is a very strong glass, but you do manage to shatter it. Let's come back to that in just a moment. Matthew. The two of them kind of look to each other. You're Halden, right?
Yes.
Right. We are technically supposed to make you stay until the show is over, but things are getting dragged out a bit. This was simply to show you something, I suppose. He doesn't exactly share all those details, but as far as I'm aware, or concerned, yeah, I really don't care. Go on.
Yeah, he made his point. Thank you.
He did, as you go to pass through the doorway, he did ask that you send his regards to, your friends.
Oh, I will be sure to give the message.
Take care.
Yes, bye-bye. Now, is all of the security basically in that room, or are there other security outside?
There's some security outside throughout the space. Most of them are still out and about where the art is. There's a couple of the heavier hitters in the room.
And he's just going to
Yeah.
wander through and make his way back up to the other room with all the other pieces in it, assuming he's going to be followed at some point.
Okay. Yes.
I also need to roll a Dex Athletics for Blink. Since I rolled an extra rouse, may I blood surge that as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me check something.
That spent the willpower.
So if I understand this correctly, tell me the order in which you're doing everything.
Like it was my misinterpretation of Wrecker. Wrecker seems is a passive.
I
Seems.
caught that, yeah. You use prowess instead of Wrecker, and Wrecker is the feature added to that. You're good.
Yeah. So prowess and blink through the glass to get to Viktor.
Okay. So because you opted to this is going to be entering kind of a combat state, so we'll come back to this in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, as you are making your way up there, there is still security upstairs. Not as many, but there's about 4 people up here. 3 people up here.
And he'll kind of just wander through. Now I know. I hope you don't mind. I'm just... The room downstairs was getting a little stuffy. I thought I would look around. Don't worry, I'm not going to touch anything.
What is your intention as you're up here?
It's a work in progress. He's just kind of contemplating as he's going about. And he was getting as far away from Drake as possible because he doesn't know what the hell's about to happen.
Then we'll go ahead and head back downstairs. You charge forward, smash the glass, and blink. You are right in front of Viktor. But because you opted to shatter the glass and then go to get to him, I'm going to roll for her to blink. That. Okay. She does not catch up to you. You get right up to Viktor. What is your intention?
Legitimately rip his heart out. Actually, if he's right next to Gray, is pulling the stake from Gray to use on Viktor too much of an action for a round? With rapid reflexes?
I would make you have to roll to pry it out, so I'd probably say yes.
Okay, then. Then yeah.
1 second.
Well, I believe get an extra because of prowess for that too. Strength, half plus melee damage. But I would argue that trying to legitimately rip a kindred's heart out of their chest is a feat of strength. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make their life harder for you, Devlin.
No, you're good. Just double checking something. Okay. As you pull back and you're getting ready to try to just completely murder Viktor, I do need you to make a composure and wits.
Composure and wits?
Yep.
Alright. I allowed the blood surge this?
Sure. You need, in order for this to not take hold, you need to beat a 7.
Let's try it. Use the willpower. And hope. Nope. That's only 3.
You'll pull back to strike him, and he smiles. Calm down. You're overreacting. As he hits you with entrancement. He has not dominated you, but you feel the hostility almost replaced with adoration. In this moment, you know that you intend to kill him. You know that you disagree full-heartedly with what he is doing. But you now have a sense of almost like you would be at a loss for killing him. Filter that how you will.
Would like to make an argument.
Sure.
He's still Bahari. Greatest lesson of all is loss. He's been told multiple times how he's lost his way, how his way isn't the right way. That he has still so much to learn to be whole. What better way to learn that than to seek out that loss?
I would also argue that is a fair concept, but that is usually in a placement of ritualistic sacrifice. What you are attempting, you also are well aware would be full-blown murder. So it's not unsound reasoning, but there is also that aspect to weigh in as well.
Let me think of how I feel to this then. I'm not gonna buck against it. I'm just thinking what
That's
Drake
fair.
would think.
You are more than welcome to negotiate. It's more of a sense of, like, he's not making you do anything. It's more of a moment of clarity, is almost how it sets in.
Instead, because Drake has his faculties. He knows he would know he's in danger. He knows that he is in a very dangerous spot. There's a wall nearby, right?
Yeah.
Drake spin and clutch Victor and pull, so hit Drake's back is against the wall and Victor's against him. As much like reasoning of the both that adoration, pulling into an embrace, and that subconscious, do not expose your back.
Okay.
Oh, you vex me so, Victor. Purity within treachery.
He pulls his hand and tries to take yours off of him. Be a dear and let go. He tries to step away. Okay. He looks
no.
to you. Go.
I'm going to keep you close. Can't be losing you, can I? But I'd hate for pretty little words of yours to get you hurt, to make me angry. I wonder what happened if you... I think you'd be safer if you lost that tongue.
As you're going to try to rip his tongue out?
Mm-hmm. Before he can speak again.
Okay. Give me... Yeah. Give me strength roll.
Kindred specialty? Yeah, this one's a bit more on the fence there.
I guess.
I'm just giving you all the fun stuff. Ten successes with a crit. Spent the willpower.
Okay. You reach into his mouth and you rip out his tongue. He begins trying to pull away from you. You hold him close. I'm going to make another roll. You feel something strike into your arm and pin your arm into your torso. Take 2 superficial damage halved, or that's already halved.
Mm-hmm.
As a crossbow sinks into your arm. Crossbow bolt. As you turn, you see multiple cultists pouring onto the stage, and Miranda standing there with the crossbow. Drake, you're not going to walk out of here if you do this.
I mean, this assumes I was going to walk out of here in the first place. After that display.
Killing him makes it less likely.
How about this? How about I take him with me?
Not an option. He has to finish the ritual.
Always with this blasted ritual, just the fucking way. All y'all don't see how it poisons the garden. Like, Drake genuinely looks around. Y'all want this ritual so bad? Y'all really want to see this new form of it? What it's going to do? And he reaches up, yanks Viktor's head to the side. I assume that snapped him out of the entrancement.
Snapping you out of the entrancement would require... Would require... Oh, okay. So, you being shot, yeah, would have ended the transfer.
Then he'll yank Viktor's head to the side. I can give you that ritual. This is what it takes to make my fucking point. I can give you your ritual. How's that
Does that
sound?
ruin you, though?
My
The whole
ruination.
point is about the taint of things.
My ruination is what Lilith wants. If this is the end that Lilith wants, then I'm already on the path. I can only be certain in her. That's the only thing I've ever been certain in.
Then do it.
Drake doesn't close his eyes, doesn't take his attention off. Mother, Lilith, may I be on your path. And he will sink his fangs into Viktor. And drink. And drink.
You are going to have to give me another... Well, I am going to go ahead and ask for another strength and brawl.
Okay.
But you are dedicating your attention to this.
He's keeping his eyes on her, but yeah.
She's
Can't
only
really-
moving toward you, so you're going to have to pick to either do this or fight her or accept what happens. She's
Okay,
not going
yeah.
to let you do this.
While all of this is happening and Matt is upstairs, there's 3 guards in the room, you said? In that
Right.
room? Yeah.
At this
He's
point,
going-
you will have heard the glass shatter
Yeah.
downstairs. Go ahead.
As soon as he hears that, he's gonna look at some of them and go, your boss might need some help. You might want to go look at that. If one of you want to stick around, I promise you I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to touch anything. But you might want to go check on that before whoever is doing that brings the wrong attention.
They look at each other. They nod at the person standing by the door, and the other 2 across the room head downstairs, leaving 1 guard.
And he'll look at the last one after they've made their way down, and he'll give it a minute or so. And he'll look at the last one. He'll kind of look over at the displays and then back to that one and go, why don't you go take that statue off its pedestal? And he'll use Mesmerize on him.
Give me the roll.
I'm gonna blood surge. Three.
He sits there for a moment. And then he steps over. Moves the glass case. Just kind of lets it fall to the ground. Picks up the statue. And the center of the room explodes. Please give me a dex in athletics.
Four.
Okay. You take 2 superficial damage as you manage to avoid the brunt of the explosion. You manage to kind of get into the stairwell. Smoke rushes out.
Yeah, he's gonna pick himself up. Yep, time to go. And he's going to get the hell out of there.
Leave the place entirely?
Yes.
Okay. Drake. 6. You hold him in place, and you feel him trying to fight against you, but he does seem to be getting a little weaker. She approaches. She puts a gun and is getting ready to put it to your head. Last chance. Then there's an explosion upstairs. The place kind of rumbles a little bit. You hear on her little radio, something stripped off the trap upstairs. She, still pointing the gun toward you, reaches down. Send 2 to investigate. I need everyone else in the greenhouse.
As she does that, Greg's going to get his head down under Victor and shove Victor at her.
So you're shoving him?
Basically using him as a blunt weapon, yes. Mainly ducking the head down. Not shot point blank in the eyes. Just that moment of distraction.
You're disconnecting, dropping down, and
just
shoving.
Not so much disconnecting, just doesn't even let go, just rips out with his teeth.
Well, yeah, just you're not actively feeding. You
Yeah.
are ripping away to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you, I guess we can call that strength and
We could go melee or brawl.
melee. We'll call it melee, I guess.
All
Yeah,
right.
brawl.
All right. Add my kindred specialty. Or ridiculous.
I'm gonna say no. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's
I
fair.
don't think you specialize in weaponizing kindred, so
Oh, fuck me. That's we're gonna that did jack shit. 4 successes. With the will.
you go to shove at her, and she seems to, almost as quick as lightning, shift over to the side. She's gonna take a shot.
All right. I am going to activate weaving. I can add since I don't have multiple at the moment, I can add my celerity to all dodges from projectiles.
Right, but you opted to try to shove him.
Right.
You
Okay.
treated him
That
as
was
a
the
weapon.
reaction. Okay, I see it. All right.
Yeah.
Dex athletics.
This is more to the simultaneous thing. However,
Okay.
they did not beat you out. So you do but dodge the bullet.
Mhm.
Or rather, she shoots Victor. Matt, as you are running down, 2 people are coming up to meet you in the stairs.
Matt's dusting himself off. What are you paying your men?
Keep an eye on him, and one continues heading upstairs. The other one points a gun to you.
Fair enough. I was standing there and I was just asking a question about the statue, and the dude walked over and I told you I wasn't going to touch anything, and I didn't.
All of us are aware of what was underneath that plate.
I wasn't. Because had I been, and had I been tempted, I would now be all through that room.
Why would one of us walk up to that knowing what would happen if we left the statue?
Well, considering you've got people in here that are poisoning the supply, how do you know he was one of yours?
Give me a manipulation and subterfuge.
I got it because I can't re-roll it.
He continues, he has his gun trained on you and goes, well, we'll just wait here and see what they come back down with.
Or, you can give me that gun, and actually, you know what? You can escort me out of the building. And he'll use Mesmerize on that one.
Regular human, they immediately... Right this way, sir. Sorry for the inconvenience. And he
Not a problem.
begins escorting you toward the front. As Matthew, you are conning your way out the front door. You take a moment to look back. You see some of the paintings have been knocked over from the explosion. And you see a lot of armed guards running back toward the greenhouse.
Good luck, buddy.
You make it outside. You see the truck. It pulls up. Not quite close enough to be an immediate, to be immediately perceived as a problem. Not far enough that you can't, jog right over. He kind of gestures for you to approach.
And I work my way over to it.
Where's Drake? What's going on?
He saw something he didn't like, and it is a disaster in there.
What happened in there?
Well, my friend was too far gone, so I decided it was time to go. But Drake wasn't a fan of the display, so made a display of his own. I got out of there before it got worse, because I didn't know what was about to happen. I am not like Drake. I don't have the physicality to deal with the shit ton of people that were in there. But hopefully the improperly prepared meal will give him a little bit of an edge.
He cuts the ignition. Tosses you the keys, and he steps out of the truck. Moves around to the back, grabs a bag. I assume you know how to drive.
Well enough.
Wait 2 minutes. If neither of us are out, get out of here, ditch the truck, walk home. He grabs his bag, and he goes walking into the building. Drake, you are starting to get cornered. You're holding, still kind of flailing against you, but to no effect. Viktor is trying to push away. She, still watching, seeing that the bullets aren't particularly helpful, she seems to drop it and reach back, and she pulls out what looks to be a large blade and just kind of watches you. You see other people kind of moving about, trying to kind of move about in a place that you're kind of get flanked, and you see armed guards begin to flood into the room. You're pretty sure Viktor probably doesn't have much left in him. What is on Drake's mind as everything's kind of adrenaline's pumping, everything's starting to slow down just a little?
All Drake can think is, this is my path, what I set myself to do. Whether it's ineffective or not, whether I'm a spark unable to catch a flame, I feel her embrace. And in the end, that's all that ever really mattered.
You hear a loud blast from the opposite side of the room. You see Riker, having just gunned down one of the security. Fires another round from a shotgun. Another one drops. We gotta go! What do you do in this moment?
Fuck it, we're stealing Victor.
Stealing Victor?
Stealing Victor.
What do you do?
Thankfully, Drake's really strong. Can I still blink while carrying Victor?
One moment. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Mostly because that would be a lot carrying that individual plus everything else that's going on. But if your intent is to try to bypass, get through everybody, and make your way out the door with Victor in tow, we can call it an escape roll. Do an escape roll.
For that.
I'm going to need 3 Dex and Athletics rolls. You can
Okay.
only surge one of them.
All right. Oh, I think the first obstacle is the one that's closest, so I'll blood surge this one, because that is another blinker. Oh, thank goodness. All right. So that is... Dex and Athletics is... Don't fail me now. You did not fail me now. 7 successes.
2 more.
All right. These will be at the regular.
Once you've rolled your 3, I'll roll 3 for Riker.
Okay, let's use the last willpower on that one. Oh, it's better than 0. So that is, yeah, that's that was 7 to 4 to 1.
All right.
And I've spent all my willpower.
All right. So the first one, you succeed with flying colors. You spin around the display, moving past Gray. How are you carrying Victor?
Over his back, kind of a shield for his head, but keeping him locked
So,
in
like,
by
when you
his.
got your jacket kind of pulled up like this and running forward?
Yeah, only he's got his neck and his legs completely locked in under his arms.
Oh, you're like that. Okay.
Yeah, just draped over his back that way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you charge through, make your way past, evading any roll conflict, not taking any damage. With Riker covering you, you manage to get through the first part. Then it's getting past the security. That was a little less successful. Let's see here. With the skull on the die, you're going to take already halved 4 superficial damage as bullets begin kind of ripping through you. You see Riker takes a few. He's slowed down greatly, but he's trying to cover you going past the door. You do push past the security, make your way out. And here you roll 1. So, you have a choice. You get to survive. But in this moment, you have to pick whether you are going to decide to continue and carry him out of there, Viktor out of there. Or do you help Riker, who's not going to make it without your help? Do you take your mark? Or save the oldest friend you have in St. Pete?
Drake has a momentary thought. And thinks I serve Lilith. But he does look at his friend one last time. And just tips his head, knowing that he might not understand and may curse him. But he is Lilith, and Lilith decrees this. And he bolts forward with Viktor.
Take 4 more superficial damage. But you bust out the door. You see the truck. You hear some more gunfire. And then silence. The door does not open after you.
Now that he's dead, or he's going to be taken by him. But they gotta get out of here.
Viktor is not tortured.
Yeah, but there's stakes in the bed of the truck.
Okay.
And we're absolutely torturing him.
Fair enough. You stake him, throw him in the back of the truck, or however you're going to situate him. Are you riding in the back, or are you...
Matt's going to look at Drake after this and be like, tell me you can drive this thing?
Oh, I'm not... Yeah, I can drive it if you need me to. Just give me a second. Make sure our boy here doesn't expire. I've already lost enough shit this night.
Roger.
Fine. Don't kill him. I have plans.
Oh, I would never.
And again, make sure he doesn't expire. Fucking Rock, I told you didn't come back for me, fucker. And he'll start the truck and drive off. Carefully.
You flee from the show. The loss hangs a bit heavy. I guess only time will tell if the choices that were made were worth it. And about this moment, your phone starts ringing. And it's from your coterie. With that, we'll bring the session to a close. Thank you everyone for tagging along so far. And when we come back, we will be seeing what the other half of this group is up to on this December 2nd. We'll see you all in the next chapter.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Bloody Strings is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Darkback. The storyteller for Bloody Strings is Devlin. Tonight's characters were voiced by Kyrie, Noree, Lekar, Truckexe, Kendall, and MissyMew. Visit our website at stpetbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.